Hello, everyone, and welcome into the All-22 review driven by AAA. I'm Fran Duffy. The Eagles fall to the Atlanta Falcons 24-20. Heartbreaker, very tough game, but I'm going to be honest. The Eagles did not blink in this game. All the adversity that they faced down in an early hole on the road against a good Atlanta Falcons team, they marched back and are within inches of coming back in this game. Before we get into that, though, let's get into some of the top plays in the loss. Let's start with what was ultimately the biggest play in the first half by Sidney Jones. And really, two elements make this play go, the coverage and the rush. We're going to start with the coverage. Now, pre-snap, this looks like there could be some sort of pressure, but really it looks like it's going to be some kind of man coverage. And it is man coverage. This is actually cover one robber. And what is cover one robber? Cover one robber is cover one, so you've got one player in the deep middle of the field. In this play, that's going to be Rodney McLeod, who's right here. He's looking like he's going to be a two-high safety. He's going to rotate into the middle of the field. You've got man coverage underneath, and you look across the board, and the Eagles defense is in man coverage. Now, the robber element is going to be Andrew Sendejo. He's actually going to rotate now. He's a high safety here. He's going to rotate into the intermediate area of the field and right over the middle. So anything that's, we'll say, between 8 and 15 yards in the middle, that's going to be his domain. So you're going to see him rotate underneath. Rodney McLeod's going to go to the post, and you've got man coverage underneath. So on second and long, good play call here from Jim Schwartz. And you're going to see Matt Ryan at the snap. He's going to drop back, and he's going to initially look to his right. He wants one of these two receivers working over the middle of the field, but that robber technique from Andrew Sendejo takes that away. Now, I'm going to clear the screen. We got a lot here going on, but I want you to watch also the right side of the Eagles defensive line. That's Timmy Jernigan and Derek Barnett. Those two guys do a really good job as we let this play run of collapsing the pocket on Matt Ryan. So he does not have the ability to step up clean. He looks to his right. Can't step all the way into the throw. It's an off-target throw. Sidney Jones comes up with the bobbled catch and the interception. Eagles get a field goal, pull within 4 points, but that play ultimately starts with the coverage call, which took away Matt Ryan's first read, and then the pressure for a turnover. All right, let's now fast forward to the start of the second half and the play that really brought the Eagles back into this game. And it's a huge interception by Ronald Darby, third and long, deep in Atlanta territory. And this is a cover zero blitz from Jim Schwartz and the Eagles defense. And what is a cover zero blitz? Well, a zero blitz is when you've got zero free safeties in the middle of the field. There is zero help for all of your defenders that are in man coverage. So if you look across the board, for every eligible receiver for the Falcons, there is exactly one player in coverage for the Eagles. And what this means is that the offense cannot block all of the blitzers that are coming after the quarterback because it's 11 on 11. If you're sending 6 as a defense, you only have 5 in protection. That last blitzer is on the quarterback. That means the ball has got to come out quickly. If your receivers are not ready for it, or if the defenders are able to beat you to the catch point, that's where you can create a big play. So we're going to let this play out, and we're going to go over to the end zone angle and show you exactly how the Eagles were able to get to Matt Ryan because it was a really creative blitz, one of my favorites in football, a triple A gap pressure. And we're going to see exactly how the Eagles set this up. It was really well done by Jim Schwartz and the rest of that defensive staff, really well disguised. The Atlanta Falcons could not set the protection late enough to be able to block this up, and even if they did, they would not have been ready for it. You can see here, pre-snap, you've got Nigel Bradham lined up in the A gap. So right off the bat, they're going to slide their protection this way. So the center is going to block Nigel Bradham. You have your left guard here to block Josh Sweat, a defensive end, lined up inside. Your left tackle is going to block Derek Barnett. Now, that is the zone side of the protection. They are going to all slide that way. Now, from a man side, you've got your right tackle, the backup Sembrello, is going to block Brandon Graham one-on-one. Your right guard, Jamon Brown, is going to block Fletcher Cox one-on-one. What you need to do now is find out the back. And you're going to see Malcolm Jenkins is lined up here off the edge. The back has Jenkins man-to-man, one-on-one. What's going to happen here, we're going to let this roll. You're going to see Malcolm Jenkins late. He's going to really quickly get into the opposite A gap. So now we're going to freeze it. There's Malcolm. He blitzes. The back does his job. He gets picked up. But you can see Rodney McLeod is a late inserter. He's a late blitzer coming from depth. The Falcons have no one to be able to account for this. You've got everybody else matched up one-on-one. You can see they've got a hat on a hat across the board. This blitzer, Rodney McLeod, is on Matt Ryan. He has got to get the ball out. So this blitz gets home so quick. Rodney McLeod hits the hole with such speed that the ball comes out quick. Ronald Darby is able to come away with the interception. The Eagles go on to score a touchdown. Great design from Jim Schwartz and that staff. So after the Ronald Darby interception, the Eagles have the ball deep into Atlanta territory. But how do they punch it into the end zone? Well, they're going to rely on a West Coast offense staple. On one side, they're going to run what is called a spacing concept. And a spacing concept, like I said, classic West Coast scheme. You're going to get 2 curl routes from the outside receivers. And those curl routes are meant to just be a little bit inside over the ball, and you're going to get a flat route from the back out of the backfield. So those 3 routes constitute a spacing concept. Again, a staple all across football in West Coast schemes. Now, you've got 2 receivers to the backside. We're going to worry about that in a second, but we're going to let this roll and see exactly what Carson Wentz sees after the snap. As soon as the ball snaps, he starts to his left. He wants to work this 3-man concept, but look at all the red jerseys over here. You've got 5 Atlanta defenders over 3 Eagles jerseys. So there's no way Carson's going to be able to squeeze this ball in. You've got a lot of congestion, especially right here in that 2-man part of the concept. Cut 1 receiver ends up on the ground. So the Eagles aren't going to be able to make this play on the play side. So Carson, and you got to credit the offensive line for giving him the time to do this, Carson's got to work backside. And that's where I want to bring you to Nelson Agholor, who does a great job on this route of shaking the defender, because he's got 1 player in trail position, right? He's going to try and take away anything underneath of Nelson. But Nelson does a great job of understanding what he's got, because you've got the safety over the top. Here's your trail defender in the slot corner, KZ. He's going to take away any kind of quick throw. So if Nelson is going to shake free on this play, he's got to throw a little bit of sauce at the top of this route. He's got to shake that trail defender. I want you to watch Nelson Agholor as he shakes that underneath defender just with a little bit of stem to the outside towards the sideline before he puts his foot in the ground and then comes back inside. With all these defenders following Carson Wentz's eyes here, that middle of the field is wide open, and Carson's able to hit him on 4th down, and we'll let this play. Watch Nelson's route at the top. Safety is not able to cover it. Nicely done there by Carson Wentz. Great route from Nelson, great protection from the offensive line. Eagles get on the board and get within a score. So the Eagles score a touchdown. The 2-point conversion is no good. So it's 17-12. Atlanta gets the football back, and they drive the length of the field, and they're threatening now. They're deep inside Eagles territory, knocking on the door, about to score a touchdown, and the defense comes up with another big turnover. Let's see exactly what happens here. Now, it's tough a little bit to see the coverage here because of the broadcast angle, but from here, it looks like the Eagles are in some sort of cover 3. So you've got your 3 deep players, and then you've got your 4 underneath players. So those 2 guys on the outside, they're going to get with. They're your curl flat players. And then you've got these 2 players here who are your middle of the field hook players. And the guy who comes up with the interception is linebacker Nate Gerry, college safety who, when I studied him at Nebraska, had great instincts in coverage. Even though he wasn't a great athlete to play in the secondary, his eyes were really, really good, especially in zone coverage, reading the quarterback and finding his way to the football. So not a surprise to me that he's made some plays in coverage, despite the fact that he's been a backup for most of his career. But the guy that I want you really to focus on here that really makes this play go is Brandon Graham up front, because he's going to do a great job of working the corner here against the backup right tackle in Ty Sambrailo, and he gets home to impact this throw. You've got a couple of guys there lined up in front of Brandon Graham. Don't think that that's by accident. A couple tight ends lined up in front of him. That's meant to kind of slow his rush down. But you're going to see Graham turns the corner. He navigates through that traffic. It's tough to see here, but you could see that he's able to get to Matt Ryan's throwing arm, grazes that elbow, and puts his hand right into Ryan's chest as he's delivering. He can't step all the way up into the throw, and we'll let this run. An inaccurate pass here from Matt Ryan right into the hands of Nate Gerry. Eagles get a big turnover in their own end zone. Keep the momentum going. So the Eagles get the ball and they drive down the length of the field. They punch it in with a Carson Wentz quarterback sneak on the goal line. So now they are up by 1. They're going to go for 2. How do they get into the end zone and take a field goal lead? Well, they're going to go with a play that's been very reliable for them over the course of the last few years, and that's this little arrow route from Zach Ertz in the red zone. And exactly how do they get to that? Well, this is a man coverage look from Atlanta, and this route concept is designed to beat man coverage. In man on the goal line, you're going to get the corner matched up on Matt Collins. He's locked up one-on-one. You've got the linebacker, Devondre Campbell. He's matched up one-on-one with Zach Ertz. And you've got the other linebacker, Vic Beasley. He is matched up one-on-one with the running back, Jordan Howard, out of the backfield. Now, at the snap of the ball, you're going to get a nice vertical stem here from Mack Hollins. He's designed to work upfield a little bit and then get inside. He wants to take that corner, remove him, take him to the middle of the field, but he has to work vertically a little bit. Why? Because he needs to get Zach Ertz time to work upfield and get behind him, get in the wake of this receiver a little bit, make the linebacker think that there's a chance that he's going to run to the pylon, and this is going to be a little bit of a rub route, right? So that's going to be the goal for Mack Hollins. Work upfield, then get inside, allow Zach Ertz to kind of just get right behind him, act as if he's going to the corner, but then actually bust it back inside into the void. And we're going to see this play out a little bit. We're going to pause it in a sec, but let's play, and we're going to see exactly what the defense sees. Right there, boom. Now you've got Zach Ertz. You can see he's just about to make his cut. Look at the linebacker, Campbell. He's like slamming on the brakes right now, trying to prevent from rear-ending the car in front of him. He thought Ertz was running to the pylon. You've got Jordan Howard running to the pylon here, so Beasley's got his eyes on the backfield. Ertz is about to cut back inside. This corner's got eyes on Mack Hollins. This linebacker's not going to be able to get into the throwing lane. Watch this void open up here, and we'll let it play. Carson Wentz hits Zach Ertz relatively wide open. That's NFL open in the end zone. Eagles take a field goal lead. But as we know, that was not enough. The Eagles fall to the Atlanta Falcons 24-20. I got to tell you, the Eagles gave it everything they got in this game. So much adversity. You go on the road against a desperate 0-1 team. The injuries just continued to mount up as the game progressed on both sides of the football, particularly on offense. But this team did not blink. Carson Wentz did not blink. He's in and out of the game with an injury. He comes back in. He takes hit after hit. These guys were able to march back, came within the game, and just came in a few inches of converting on fourth down in the red zone, come away with the loss. The Eagles fall to 1-1. They go now to play the Detroit Lions next week at home. We've got lots of coverage going into that game. So check out for analysis here on the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast, fueled by Gatorade with myself and Greg Cosell late Monday night. And then you can check in on the Eagle Eye in the Sky column. We've got Eagles game plan late this week. A lot of coverage coming up, both recapping this game and looking ahead to week 3 against the Detroit Lions. Thanks for joining us here on the All-22 review driven by AAA.